Hello, my name is Gigi Crowder, and I've been partnering with iHeart and the American Heroes Group for the last 3 years now. It was our intention to have a guest, actually a celebrity guest, who's been doing work in the mental health space, looking at adverse childhood experiences. We're in California, and sadly, here in California, we've had probably one of the largest natural disasters in my lifetime for sure. I can think about the devastations that we've had, but from a financial cost and from listening to Governor Newsom, our governor here in California, when asked the question by Meet the Press, he said it's not about the number of bodies who were lost, but the vast nature of the fires in Southern California has had a major impact on the lives of those who lived in that area. And so we at NAMI have operated for the last 3 years with a grant from FEMA nationally. And then that was put in place because of COVID. We received phone calls from individuals about how they were experiencing COVID. So, because of these fires, we're likely going to be getting more calls from people who've been devastated. We provide a warm line, but it's rather hot, no pun intended, because when there's a national disaster, we respond. What we immediately started thinking about at NAMI Contra Costa was how can we help the folks in Southern California? I personally have young sons, twins, who reside in Southern California. So I kept calling them, and maybe through fasting and praying that I've been doing, they're in a rare neighborhood that has not been impacted by the fires, but many other neighborhoods, most of their friends have had to pack up and be evacuated. So we've been praying for those families impacted. You've seen it on the news. Um, Large numbers of individuals, many familiar names because the locations of the fires were in a pretty wealthy part of California with a lot of celebrities have lost their homes. And one unfortunate thing that we've learned is that the water supplies were not where they needed to be. No fault of the state, according to the governor. There just been some things that came together in California, in the southern part of the state of California, that um, caused ripple effects around the spread. The time of year, the lack of moisture, we did not have a very rainy season, and then the high winds. So, because of those things, NAMI across the state have kind of joined in together to offer our support. We have warm line numbers that we're asking people to call, and then we can provide them support. The type of phone calls we're getting are from individuals who are trying to make connections with their relatives, but mostly because of the work we do around mental health, the calls that we're getting have much more to do with the fact that individuals are displaced and worried. They're worried about their futures, much like COVID, when individuals are having a difficult time and they don't have a lot of knowledge about what their future is going to look like. Their anxiety is heightened. And so we're seeing a lot of individuals who are calling our warm line because they have a heightened anxiety. We have created opportunities for individuals at NAMI to speak to some people who can best support them. We lift up lived experience. So one of the things we've lifted up was an opportunity for individuals. If you're a veteran, we have 4 veterans on standby. Unfortunately, a lot of the veteran calls are people who are already unsheltered and living in Los Angeles, California. So we've been making calls to try and figure out, okay, are there any special resources for veterans? And we have learned through the Red Cross that there are going to be some specialized programs for different target populations to get support. Large number of concern from the veterans is actually being separated from their animals. And so we're also trying to figure out, okay, how do we position the vets that we're talking to feel more comfortable about the outcome for their pets if they've been disconnected. So there's a lot going on here with the fires. Being in a position where individuals have a place to go to get support is really important. And so we're going to be, as a unit in California, there's actually 58 counties and 43 of them have NAMI affiliates. So we're constantly on the phone with each other and offering support around, well, if someone calls who has this need, refer them to us. So we're really in place to try and support those efforts. Who would have thought we would be in this place, but we're here now, and then we have to start looking at what the role the faith community plays, because that's really essential as well. When people are in distress, they tend to turn first to their faith community. We've learned that a lot of faith centers, churches, temples, have actually burned as well. So that's leaving individuals feeling a level of distress as well. um, for a lot of people, there where they get up and go worship becomes like a second home to them, and not to have that made available to them, and not being able to contact people within their congregations, parishes, etc., has become very difficult. So what we wanted to do today is, instead of holding our regular show, just talk to you about who you can reach out to. And so we're going to make available to the America's Heroes group a list of resources that individuals can get to. I didn't want to stay here for very long. I am a roll up my sleeves and get the work done. And I've already gotten 2 individuals who have let me know they have a question for me. And so I want to be able to connect with them. So we won't have our full 30 minutes. I'm hoping next a month we will come back and we'll be able to share, what in a more structured way, what will be made available to individuals. One of the challenges that many people had was that somehow, because of earlier fires in California, they'd gotten their insurance for their homes had been what do you call it? They terminated. And so a lot of people were worried about that. But I did hear Governor Newsom put some plans in place. They're also trying to put in place some efforts so that individuals who might be thinking about taking advantage unfairly of this fire — it always happens whenever there's a disaster, there's people who come up with schemes. So the scams, we've gotten some phone calls from people, and they were worried about giving money to individuals in order to help them out. And at a time like this, you should never really have to pay anyone for a type of kind of these type of resources. So we've been just cautioning people about pulling out their credit card and paying for anything. But what we do best at NAMI is provide the mental health support, the emotional support. And we do that with a full team of trained individuals who carry the skill set to do so. And so we're hoping that if anyone needs to find us, they would just go to the namicalifornia.org website, and then you can pretty much identify a NAMI in your region. Some of the phone lines, as we said, are down in Southern California, so individuals have been contacting other offices to get the support, and we make sure that we support the individuals. We like to use a hold on to your hand, keep it warm, and don't let go of it until we put your hand into another individual's warm hand to ensure that that you're not. And then we always let people know whenever anyone called NAMI, if we refer you to someone and they do not address your needs in a manner consistent with producing the best outcome for you, call us back. I often give my name, Gigi Crowder, because I'm kind of not fearful of any circumstances around talking to anyone. If I need to talk to the governor, I will do that on behalf of supporting people when they're in distress. So that's kind of what we have for you today, an opportunity for you to get the mental health supports, that you need by relying on NAMI, National Alliance for Mental Illness. California carries all of the contact information for all of the affiliates. Of course, your first point of contact will be Red Cross. That's the agency that's been put in place to support people through natural disasters. But then when you start thinking about mental health and people just needing someone to pick up the phone, to talk to help them regulate how they're feeling and to get them the resources that they need, then you can definitely call NAMI, and we'll let you know through triage if you need something more intensive. But typically, we're able to get people in the right direction to at least start feeling better. So, thank you for your time. If you're in need of any mental health supports, remember NAMI California. So the NAMICA.org is where you would go to connect with anyone. If you have specific needs and you would like to get in contact with the local affiliate that I'm at, it's NAMI Contra Costa. And so it's NAMICONTRACOSTA.org. And as we're waiting for the calls, we're praying. And so we don't shy away from the important role faith and spirituality plays as we address natural disasters and look to the heavens for relief. Thank you.